Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sports Shorts Daily. Ronnie Rance alongside Tommy Chrysand here on this Monday morning edition of Sports Shorts Daily. Um, Coming to you from Court Street Cafe in downtown Port Allen, right across the Mississippi River Bridge from downtown Baton Rouge. I mean, literally 5 minutes over the bridge, bam, you're at Court Street Cafe. Great place. Great breakfast, lunch, dinner, you name it. I'm at an undisclosed location presented by the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. We are literally, Tommy, a week and a half away from the Hall of Fame induction beginning. I mean, not this Thursday, but next Thursday, begin the Hall of Fame induction ceremony festivities. It's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday festivities up in Natchitoches. One of the events, the celebrity bowling event, is in Alexandria. Go to lasportshall.com, check it out. I mean, things are selling out fast. It's going to be an amazing weekend. We are presented by LeBear's Casino. LeBear's Casino, the place to watch the Celtics and Mavs game 2 last night. If you bet on the Celtics, you cashed your winning ticket. They're a 6.5-point favorite. They won by 7. They're up 2-0 in that series. Celtics look like the best team. I think getting Porzingis back also just gave them that extra juice, motivation, fire, whatever, to just put them over the top. They're up 2-0. They play Wednesday night. Also, Super Regionals. There's no better place than the LeBear Sportsbook to watch the Super Regionals. Not only this past weekend, but tonight. You got one more game. Georgia, NC State. Winner goes to Omaha, 6 o'clock. You can watch it at the Sportsbook at LeBear's in Baton Rouge and get you some great food and drink as well. And bet on all the games. 5 SEC teams potentially could be in Omaha. 4 of them have punched their ticket to Omaha. And 3 have punched their ticket at ACC. So if NC State wins, you'd have 4-4. Look, we knew that the SEC and the ACC were the 2 best teams in college baseball. Everybody's known that for a long time, but it is clear as day now. And with the demise of the Pac-12 and what's happened to that conference, and Oklahoma and Texas leaving the Big 12 to go to the SEC. In the Big Ten not really being relevant. Every once in a while, a team pops up. Like, it's going to be the Omaha is going to be the SEC ACC challenge from now on.
Yeah, it really is. And how long until people say, "Oh, we need 20 teams in Omaha so somebody else could get there"? No, just get better. Pour the resources into the programs like they've done in the SEC and the ACC, and and get better and earn your way there. I mean, it's not surprising to me because both of the teams in these leagues are battle tested. We've talked about that. When you go through that 30-game, 10-weekend grind against, even the worst of Missouri and Auburn, who didn't make the SEC tournament, they were capable of taking 1 out of 3 or maybe 2 out of 3. They were good enough where you couldn't just say, we got this. That never occurs in the SEC. It never occurs in the ACC. And, we'll see what happens tonight in Athens. And it's going to be a fun College World Series that gets underway with a doubleheader Friday.
As far as the College World Series is concerned, right, out of the SEC, only one from the West is going, which, for the most part, we always like to think the SEC West is best. But Texas A&M is going. They swept Oregon. And then from the East, you've got Florida, who was barely above 500 going into the postseason in NCAA tournament.
One game above.
One game above. They're much like LSU. They underachieved throughout the year. They were a team that was a preseason top 5 pick, just like LSU. And just like LSU, they figured it out late and started to play better late. But they had a little better draw. They got to go to Oklahoma State, where LSU was expected to go. LSU had to go to North Carolina, who's punched their ticket to the College World Series. So definitely a harder draw for LSU in that regional, and it paid dividends. Florida came through the losers bracket, won their regional, and won the super regional. But of course, Tennessee's been dominant throughout. It was a shocker they lost game 2 to Evansville, but then they stomped them in the ground 12-1 on game 3 to go to Tennessee. And that's, we had Todd Walker on Sports Shorts Radio on Saturday morning. He's picked Tennessee to win the College World Series. I agree with him. I think they're ready. I think it's their time. I think they're battle tested as a program over the last 3-4 years, and they are the best team. Now we'll see. But Kentucky punched their ticket to Omaha for the very first time in program history. I don't know if you saw, Tommy, any of the Kentucky game, if you saw any of the celebration, but if you were to see how far Kentucky has come as a program in the last 20 years, if you've ever been to a Baton Rouge Rougarou game, Pete Goolsbee Field is probably about what Kentucky was 20 years ago as far as a facility. Pete Goolsbee Field might even have more charm. I think it definitely has more charm than what Kentucky had as a baseball facility 2 years ago. It was basically a glorified high school bleacher system that they had. And to see where they're at now with this beautiful ballpark, I mean, they spent like $50 million, turf field, they had seats down the lines, a packed house. And to see where this program has come, it is amazing. And credit John Cohen, who's now the athletic director at Auburn, for what he did. He's the one that he was the guy, right? He was the guy, the bricklayer. He was the one that got that program going in the right direction. I mean, he was a former Mississippi State player, learned from Ron Polk. He went over there 20 plus years ago, and then they won the SEC in the mid 2000s, and I think 2006 they won the SEC. And what he's done, Nick Mingione, who's the head coach now, was his assistant for all those years. And then Nick Mingione went to Mississippi State when John Cohen went to Mississippi State and got that program turned around, then became athletic director, and Nick went back to Kentucky as the head coach. It is the John Cohen tree, and Nick Mingione deserves a lot of credit, no doubt about it. But John Cohen did the heavy lifting. He's the one that got the improvements going for that ballpark, got people believing. I remember, Tommy, that Kentucky in like 20 years ago, in year like 2 maybe, and John Cohen's a former Northwestern State coach, by the way. They had like 150 season ticket holders for Kentucky baseball. This is an SEC team 20 years ago. They literally had like 200 at the season ticket holders, and he wanted to do something about that. And he took all his players, and this was a Skip Bertman move. He put them in uniforms, and they went around knocking on doors. They went around the businesses, 2 at a time. Hey, let me tell you, here's a pocket schedule. Hey, would you like to buy some season tickets? And they went from like 150, 200 tickets to like 900 or 1,000 in 1 year. And I give that guy credit. And then what Nick Mingione's done, he's a hated guy by other teams. People don't like his style. A lot of timeouts, a small ball. He's kind of a pesky, aggravating guy, always arguing. He and Jay Johnson are best friends. Nick's a fantastic coach. He's one of those guys that if he's your guy, you love him. If he's the other guy, you hate him. I think Kentucky's a great story. I'm glad for that program. Glad for the SEC because I'm a guy who, if LSU doesn't make it, I pull for the SEC. I know that's not always very popular. I know people think, well, if they don't make it, why would you want that? No, I love the SEC. I want them. I'm glad they're in there.
Yeah, I wanted the SEC to win it, and Kentucky was my pick before the regional started. Now, the thing is going against them, they've never been to Omaha before. And, of course, your coach, Coach Bertman, always said you got to go a couple times, And it's only happened a few times where I think Fresno State, first time they ever went, they won it. Well, and that was like a Cinderella story.
Yeah, I mean, Fresno State won it like 14 years ago or something, but they had been to Omaha plenty as a
Okay, but so Kentucky's never been, and that's going to work against them, and that'll be part of the narrative this week. But I thought these dudes play baseball. I watched their games all weekend. And I like Mingione. I've seen interviews with him over the years. He was at the desk in Hoover with Todd Walker and them several times just a couple of weeks ago, and I listened to every word he said. And I mean, he's got it going on, and he's a player's coach. I mean, he talks about how he lets players tell, okay, coach, we want to wear this uniform. And a lot of coaches do that, but he's not afraid to say it, and he lets them talk about things to try to make the situation better. So it's a great story. But again, there's going to be 8 teams in Omaha, and any one of the 8 can win it.
By the way, Coastal Carolina won the national championship going for the very first time. That was probably 8 years ago. It's just incredible. It's
2016 that was.
8 years ago. That's amazing that time has flown that quickly. But Coastal Carolina is one of those, mid-majors Cinderella stories. And so obviously it's possible. But yeah, going back to Coach Bertman's philosophy, which, back in the older days in the 90s and stuff, there was fewer teams that went, and yeah, there was value in, going and learning how to deal with all the distractions of ticket requests and media and, lots of free time. And what do you do with that free time? Do you go to the zoo? Do you go to the pool? What do you do? And sometimes teams got overwhelmed with the excitement of just going for the first time and the aw shucks of it. They forgot how to play. Stony Brook did that. They were 2 in Q and they went. But credit Coastal Carolina, they showed the blueprint on how to do it. But I don't feel that way anymore when it comes to SEC teams because the SEC is so different. You're so battle tested going through the SEC. You're playing in front of 10,000 people, oftentimes every week. And even though, 2025 isn't 10, the pressure's the same. You want 10,000 at Alec Box Stadium versus 25 in a bigger venue. I don't know that it feels very different, right? I mean, it looks different, but as far as feeling different, I don't know. There's just as much on the line on that SEC Friday in front of 10,000 in Mississippi State or 15,000 in Starkville as there is 22,000 in Omaha. So I Kentucky can go there and shock the world and win it. I truly believe that. But anyway, looking forward to tonight. One more team punched their ticket. Georgia. How about that? First year coach, former LSU pitching coach, could have Georgia in the College World Series in his very first year, him and Wes Johnson. It doesn't feel like there's a tremendous love lost there between he and Jay Johnson. They haven't neither said it publicly, but they're definitely not saying all the gushy things about each other. That's for sure.
Yeah, we'll see. And Jay Johnson's busy recruiting. Cam Johnson in the portal now, third pitcher to go in the portal. So he's addressing all of that. What we got?
7 players in the portal from
yeah,
LSU.
but third pitcher to go in, following Bucknam and Moffitt. So, but that's the landscape of college baseball now, college sports now. I mean, it's not unique to LSU. It's not unique to the SEC. Every team's got people going into the portal. I think I sent you a text the other day. As of the other day, was 6,000 players in the transfer portal. Okay, wow. I mean, it's like travel ball. Like you play for a team and you don't like the way the batting lineup was, or you don't like this or that, so you go play for another team. I mean, it's craziness, but Jay Johnson can handle it, I'm sure.
It's insane. 6,000 and growing each and every day, and no coach likes it. Everyone has to accept it and adapt to it until there's some sort of rule change. There's going to be a very spicy meeting at the College World Series where the Coaches Association and meeting get together. They have a board, and every year it gets heated. And last year the Vandy baseball coach made some really good points that how, the portal and NIL is so terrible and this is what's going to happen, and everything's come true. So it's going to be interesting in Omaha. I don't know whether anything can change by just baseball coaches, but hopefully they can. Tommy, I got to jump off. The sports. By the way, the Baton Rouge Rougarou are in first place. Don't ask me how. We're struggling offensively. We're struggling throwing strikes. But they've got that grit. They've got that team. They've got a fight in them. And the Rougarou have won 3 in a row. They're 4-3. They play at home 6 of the next 8 days starting tomorrow.
Yeah, they really do. BatonRougeRougarou.com, BRRougarou.com. Check them out on social media. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Home game, 7 p.m. The Rougarou are hot. The weather's hot. You need to get out there and check this out. Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, the Rougarou in action at Pete Goolsby Field.
We've got wrestling night this week. We've got 2 for Tuesday. We got Win-Win Wednesday. And Friday night, Jerry Lane fireworks show during the 7th inning. Go check it out. Go to brrougarou.com. You can buy tickets at the gate. It's all games start at 7 o'clock. You never have to wonder whatever day of the week. They all start at 7. Gates open at 6. The most fun you can have with kids. Trust me, they're gonna love it. Tommy, I'm gonna jump off. We'll talk to you on Wednesday.
All right, again, like Ronnie said, Sports Shorts Daily back Wednesday. A couple other things real quick. The U.S. Open starts Thursday at Pinehurst up in North Carolina. We'll talk more about that on Wednesday. Scotty Scheffler wins again yesterday. He's only made $24 million this year. He's won 5 of his last 8 starts. The only people that can stop Scotty Scheffler, the Louisville Police Department, right? Anyway, and the Saints have a mandatory mini camp this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday down in Metairie. We'll see how that goes. We'll talk more about that on Wednesday when we have some more Sports Shorts Daily, as I will be back. Here we go, Tig Bits Podcast. Hey, you got to check that out. Tig Bits Podcast. Check that out. They're yelling, go Rougarou. Just search for Tig Bits Podcast, my good friend Brantley Salter and his cast of people. So check out Tig Bits Podcast. So anyway, break out the Roo. The Roo is Fear the Roo. That's it right there. All right. I want you to remember that Court Street Cafe, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Great way to keep up with Court Street Cafe in Port Allen is connect on Facebook and Instagram. They put up the lunch specials, the dinner specials, the specials of the week, drink specials in the full-service bar that's right behind me. Court Street Cafe, 805 Court Street in Port Allen. They got it going on over here. Jason and his staff do a super job. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. and you need to check it out. Saturday night, steak night. Sunday, the famous brunch from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's every Sunday. So check out Court Street Cafe, 805 Court Street in Port Allen. Again, we're back on Wednesday with another episode of Sports Shorts Daily. Please like and share this show. That helps everything so much. Like and share this show. That's a key thing for all of us and our marketing partners from Court Street Cafe to the LeBaris Casino and Hotel in Baton Rouge, the Hall of Fame, Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, Tremonti's Meat and Seafood, and, of course, Court Street Cafe in Port Allen. Check them out. I'm Tommy Christ saying, on behalf of Ronnie Rance, have a good day, everyone.